taken away people's freedom of movement. It's a lot of inequality.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I owe about £500,000 in fines myself at the moment.
It punishes certain areas while others remain protected.
London Borough of Hackney, Shaw Place, E9. This is what an LTN looks like. A plant pot. Devastation, destruction, disruption for the residents of Hackney. LTNs. We need to get rid. LTNs are enforcement measures implemented by the council to reduce traffic on residential streets, such as this one, being a plant pot. By the sign, you can see no motor vehicles are allowed to go through, except waste vehicles, emergency vehicles, and cyclists. So what is the controversy all about? Okay, so what is the debate all about? The council claimed that their main reason for implementing LTNs is to reduce traffic in neighbourhoods and reduce air pollution, taking care of it. You know, it sounds good. However, it doesn't really add up and it doesn't really make sense. All LTNs do is sweep rubbish under the rug, so to speak, as they only push traffic onto main roads from residential roads. And they say it's to clean up the air. However, turning 5-minute journeys into 40-minute journeys doesn't really solve that problem, as cars are on the roads for longer, idling, producing more carbon monoxide. So what is the real purpose of this? Because there's definitely a charge if you don't adhere to the LTN. Is that the ulterior motive? I have a suspicion and I have a theory. I don't think Hackney Council really cares about the air. I think they care more about something else. And that would be money. Can you see this? Come closer. What's that? What does that look like? Rubbish. Because the LTNs are absolute rubbish. And something needs to be done about this. Hackney Council, we're talking to you. We want change, reform, removal of these illegal LTNs. And I say illegal because we know the real motive behind them. Today there's a protest. And we're going. And we're gonna cause a stir. Now let's go.
And they're not done. There's 70% of our borough covered with LTNs. Hackney is not done.
Reporting live from Hackney Town Hall, where protests are going ahead against the LTNs implemented by the Hackney Cabinet. We're going to speak live with some of the residents on the scene and see what's really going on the streets. I'm here with Shatoya, who's been spearheading the war on LTN, and we're going to speak to her today and ask her a few questions about it. So what changed firstly when they were implemented?
So for me, what the biggest change was, people were complaining that they couldn't get to their appointments, couldn't get to dialysis, couldn't get to chemotherapy. There's people that unfortunately have had to reschedule their funerals because they're not able to get to the funerals in time. Because of the traffic that is happening in Hackney, they haven't been able to bury their families with dignity. So that is a key thing that made us want to stand up.
It's taken away people's freedom of movement. It's a lot of inequality. It's mainly concentrated in areas that are less affluent, and the more affluent areas are getting little, if any, traffic going through.
People like me who need carers to come in every now and again, district nurses, they can't get to us. I've got a guy on my block, he's blind, he's severely disabled, he has caregivers coming in multiple times a day. His carers, every time they come in, they get them whacked with LTN fines. It's ridiculous, it's getting beyond ridiculous. It affects people across the board, whether you drive or not.
I don't even drive yet, but I feel the impact. A journey from Stamford Hill to Hackney Town Hall that once took around 25 minutes on average now takes about an hour or more. That is not a small inconvenience. That is time taken from working people, time taken from parents, time taken from carers, time taken from those who rely on taxis, buses, lifts from family.
Enough is enough. Hackney has 70% of LTNs in our borough. It's the most in the country. It's not even in London. It's the most in the country. And they're not done. They're still going to be implementing more into the borough. So this is why we need to stand up for our people and stand up together as a community and stand up to say, no, this is what we want in our borough.
Where would you say is the worst affected areas within the borough?
Worst affected? Well, we got Hackney Road for starters, that's always a traffic traffic jam when you go down there. Dawson Lane, Graham Roads, Amherst Road now, they're thinking of putting in a block there as well. It's getting ridiculous. It's all over now.
So it's really a plan, in my opinion, to eventually get rid of a certain level of diverse people in the borough and replace it with the new, supposedly gentrified people who they deem to be gentrified of Hackney. So I think it's a long-term plan which is disastrous, and it's very unfair. They're not taking into account there's people who have been born in Hackney or raised, who'd lived here 30 plus years.
And this is what hurts the most. It's not just about traffic, it's about voice. This is not the first time decisions have been made without us. We did not truly have a say in the wave of gentrification that has changed the face of this borough. We were told it was regeneration.
And what residents are asking is to be heard. Everyone is feeling unheard. We're asking Hackney Council to listen to the people.
Voices and views are being drowned by the relatively newcomers who think they can order everybody around and have Hackney as a countryside. And my view is, if they want Hackney as a countryside, then why not get a property in the countryside and live there? A city is very different from the country. And obviously everybody wants cleaner air, but we are not living in the countryside, and an inner city cannot be the countryside. Whilst we can strive to make it better, it cannot replace the countryside.
We are told that LTNs are progress. We are told they are necessary, modern, forward-thinking, but progress for who? Necessary for who? Because for many of us, the reality feels very different. Regeneration for some became displacement for others. It punishes certain areas while others remain protected.
And what do you think about the fines that are implemented if people don't adhere to the new enforcement?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I owe about £500,000 in fines myself at the moment, if not a bit more, because I'm getting them on a daily. I have the exemption, the HAC01 permit, which only gets you for like a certain amount of them. I still get whacked daily for that. It's gotten to a point now where I keep peeling them, they're falling on deaf ears. So, you know what, I'll wait for my day in court.
Yeah.
And then I'll expose them then.
Forgive us if we ask whether the council that is meant to serve us is truly listening. And forgive us if we begin to question the party that stands behind them, asking for our continued loyalty.
Would you say most of your appeals that you've put forward haven't been accepted? They don't go through?
It's not a case of that. So they just don't get back to you, just refuse to even do that. They really couldn't care less about us. They've got their agenda, they're pushing ahead with it regardless. There is no democracy in there. They're running the place like dictatorship, and it needs to stop.
We are against being ignored. We are not against improvement. We are against inequality dressed up as progress.
You just want to come out and not feel that you're being choked by excessive congestion, which wasn't there before, and it doesn't need to be there. The traffic in Hackney needs to be dispersed as it was before.
I'm speaking not only for myself, but for those who feel too intimidated to speak. For those who feel powerless because decisions keep happening to them, never with them.
How would you say these LTNs in your community have affected you personally?
Can't get anywhere. I've noticed more congestion, so as I come out the house I find my breathing has been affected. I'm trying to stay off the main roads, but I have to get onto the main road at some point. People who have got breathing issues or any heart or respiratory issues, it's been exacerbated by the increased congestion.
When roads are restricted, congestion does not disappear, it moves. It concentrates.
Not everybody is able to ride a bike. At my age, I'm not a bike person. Some people need a car. They have family visiting. But what's happening is that we're told, ride a bike, walk. That privilege isn't for everybody. So please, think of everybody's needs. We all need to make adjustments. It's not just one way.
Silence is often mistaken for consent. It is not consent, it is exhaustion. It cannot assume our vote is automatic. It cannot speak the language of equality whilst ignoring the lived experience of those who feel the impact of these policies every day.
Vote Labour out! Vote Labour out! Vote Labour out!
If you could get one change today from the cabinet, what would that be?
Just to start listening to us would be a good start. Sorry. Thanks.
Got to keep the sign up.
Yeah, got to, innit? Just to keep listening to us would be, well, to start listening and actually taking residents' concerns on board would be a good start, because at the moment they're not doing that at all.
Now, I can tell it's really affected you, because to be out here in this blistering cold weather with the rain really does speak volumes today.
Does, but if I don't come out, who will? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm here for all those disabled people that can't advocate. Do you know what I mean? I'm here to try and give them a voice.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to be here.
Someone's got to do it. You're a good resident, Peter.
Thank you. Thanks for your time. I
Appreciate that. And if you could get one change today from the cabinet, what would that be?
To at least bring that down. 70% is a lot of percentage to have across our borough. So to even get it back down to 50 would be something the residents could appreciate. The fact they're not even budging.
And has this been going on since 2020?
Yeah, so basically LTNs were brought into the borough because of COVID to basically social distance, and it was something that was meant to be temporary, but they made it permanent without us even knowing. And people are upset. People every day are crying for their borough to listen, and they're not listening to us. People are feeling unheard. People are feeling that there's no point doing petitions, no point going to consultation meetings because they feel like they're not going to be listened to anyway. But this is where we need the Hackney people to keep going and stand up together, because we need to show them that together in numbers we want our borough back.
Do you think the cabinet's hearing you, or do you think they're working against you here?
I think that they're not hearing us. I think they're being influenced by what I call the newcomers of Hackney, the ones who never lived in Hackney or London. A lot of them lived out in Suffolk or Devon or Cornwall, and they're coming in and not taking account of the people who have lived here but want it their way. And I believe that the councillors are giving in to them because of their affluence, or they're deemed to be people who are more important than maybe the long-standing residents of Hackney. So I think there's a lot of inequality that's going on.
Well, I can see you're passionate and you're here today in the rain, surviving the weather, all for the sake of your community, and that is very commendable.
Thank you very much. You know, we have to strive for everybody. It's not just for ourselves. It's not just because if it does or doesn't affect my road. But I don't just stay in my house. I travel around and I can see that the impact on different parts of Hackney. So I'm speaking collectively for everybody. And I hope that other people can come out and see that we can't be selfish. We have to support each other and make Hackney a better place for everybody, not just a select number of people who want things their way.
Yeah.
Being photographed at community events means nothing if our concerns are dismissed behind closed doors. At what point do we stand up and say enough? If Hackney Council truly serves its people, then it must listen deeply, not defensively. And if any party wants to lead this borough, it must remember that leadership is not ownership, it is responsibility. Our voices are not optional, our experiences are not secondary, and our support is not guaranteed. Hackney must listen to its residents, and if it refuses, then it must accept that people will seek leadership that does.
Powerful words from Miss Liv. If I've learned anything on the ground today, it's that this problem is bigger than just LTNs. There's a problem within the cabinet, and something needs to be done. Reform. We need change. The voice of the people. BRSU reporting live from Hackney Town Hall.
Local election is in May. Every party that wants Hackney to vote needs to hear this clearly. We want commitments, not vague reassurance. We want transparency. We want accountability. We want balance. Register to vote. Check you are all registered. Tell your neighbours to register. The deadline to register is by midnight on Monday the 20th of April 2026. We'll be sharing more information about the registration. Do not sit this out. Hackney deserves streets that are safe, accessible and fair. We are not going anywhere. So open back our roads and keep voting, and make sure you are registered, because we are voting Labour out. This year Labour is not standing a chance. The closing date is the 20th of April to sign up, so please, I beg you all, make sure you vote. This time is our opportunity to get Labour out. They're so comfortable with the fact that the diverse people vote them every year. We're not doing it this time. We're getting them out.
Vote Labour out!
Vote Labour out! Vote Labour out! Vote Labour out! And Green! And Green! Thank you all for coming. I know it was raining, but you guys need to keep pushing. If you guys want your road closures out, keep coming out, keep showing out, keep pushing.
Here today, in the cold, wet, rainy weather, Hackney stood up for its residents, for its people, for its streets. If you've been affected by any of these LTN changes as a Hackney resident or any borough, please stand up, as it starts here. Change for the community.
discrimination. The only way